Hello and welcome to Fifth Echo's very first video. Well, if you discount the preview that our esteemed Bronco has made, of course. This is a personal replay file that I've created in a game called War Thunder. Well, I haven't actually recorded it, created it. I have recorded it, but whatever, you'll see. Let's see, many of you may have not heard of War Thunder before, and really it's a combat simulator, essentially, where you can pilot tanks or airplanes, whether an airplane in the sky or in a ground support role, or a tank facing other tanks against, enemy aircraft that may be flying overhead. It's it's one of the most realistic markets on the game. The claim War Thunder has over its competitors in the war gaming genre, almost, is that it's realistic. Like, it's realistic physics. I mean, it has several game modes. It has arcade, where everything's pretty loony. It's got realistic, which is still not 100%, but then you've got, like, simulator mode, where you're locked into, like, the driver's point of view and whatnot. So they've got different modes. This is realistic mode, which means the physics are going to work pretty much as intended. However, I will get friendly markers over my tanks, or my friendly tanks, so I know that the movement, the further bushes is my tank. However, I will note that in this replay, you're allowed to see some red names over the enemy, which are not there during gameplay. So if I'm not shooting at something that's obviously there by the enemy red name, know that I can't actually see that name. So for the first few minutes in the opening of this battle, I'm driving the M10 tank destroyer, which was an American tank destroyer of World War II. And it was not fast. It had a slow traverse. It wasn't that maneuverable, and it wasn't meant for a frontline combat role. And what I mean by that, it was designed for the front lines, yes, but what the standing orders were the Shermans were to support the infantry moving forward, and when they spotted a panzer or something like that, they were to call in a actual official tank destroyer, such as the M10, which would come in from behind and take out the designated target. However, as history would show, that never really worked out as intended a lot of the time. So here I found my first victim, if you will. I know there's a Panzer IV on the hill, and I have spotted this T-34, which has so graciously showed its flanks to me. However, I haven't played ground forces in several days, and my aiming is very rusty, and I keep overshooting the Russian. And those last two shots actually never left the end of my barrel, since it was heavily damaged. The shot either veered way off course or exploded as soon as it left, as you can see. So right now I'm taking time. My crew has backed the tank up behind cover, and I can repair. Now here the enemy has tried to call in an artillery barrage to try and flush me out or overall destroy me. However, I was able to escape due to the enemy's poor aiming and direction for the artillery. So I should have my barrel repaired shortly, and as you can see at the bottom of the screen to the left side is my damage scan of the tank. I will see these things. I do not see the battle chat like that. All I have is the red and blue marker right below the replay tab and the map. Right now I'm using my binoculars to try and see over there into the woods. I do know that those tanks are either dead or AI, because nobody who goes there really survives. And like I said, those red names over there, I can't see them, so I don't know if there's someone over there or not. And if you look at the map now, it was at this point I realized that we're in some trouble. The southern flank where I am at, or well, northern, I guess you could say if you're looking at the map. The northern side of the map, we have completely crushed. We have advanced across this little ravine here, and we're making our way towards the enemy base. However, if you look down to the south, we have completely collapsed. The Russians and the Germans have completely destroyed all the defense we had in that area, and are currently about to overwhelm our base. Now, usually, if I was in anything else, I would be more gung-ho, and I'd pull up those hills right in front of me, and I would immediately start shooting at everything that moved. However, I'm an M10 tank destroyer. My bad, got a little trigger happy. Thought the dirt was giving me a bad look. Anyway, so, like I said, normally I would pull up there and I would give, the Russians a good bashing, as the British would say. However, I'm not neither British nor a good tank. I'm a tank destroyer. Previous in this battle, you saw me bounce a shot off the front of my hull. That was extremely lucky. I do not have enough armor to go toe-to-toe with T-34s, Panzer IVs, and whatever monster of a tank may be laying over there. So right now I'm trying to play a secondary role in that what little allies are over there designate where the enemy is so I may provide supporting fire. However, as you can see, since the enemy has broken through the southern flank and has split our two spawn zones, which is where those two flags are, they really have a free play on our base, which is that little blue B diamond. Now, our team is currently contesting the A point, as you can see, as it's halfway empty of the red, but I assure you that will change shortly. Anyway, getting back into the fight, I'm trying to look past these woods to see where I can lay down fire, but unless somebody starts calling it out on the radio and pinging it on the map for my driver to read, I just can't do anything. I'm too weak to pop over there because what happens is if I go on the advance, I have to expect the enemy to be able to wait for me and get the first shot off, and I am not that kind of tank. I must be able to wait here or be able to shoot my enemy from afar while other tanks take the shots. So right now, what I'm doing here is I see over there that somebody keeps calling out tanks on the enemy ridge, and in a few minutes I'm going to start trying to put shots over there, trying to hit a target I can't see through indirect fire, but we'll get back to that into a minute when I start shooting. As you can see, those tanks way down in the south there, I believe those are AI tanks, which isn't really helping nothing. They're there as XP bubbles for the enemy, I guess. And here we can see that the B point is being capped. That's our base. If we lose our base, we will lose the game. Now, it's kind of spazzing out. For some reason, the replay does not want to keep track of it properly, but just know that it's going down. Slowly, but it is going down. So as you can see, most of us have died. The complete southern offensive we had going has died off. Whatever pressure we were pushing is gone, and now things are slowly turning back into the Russians' favor. Instead of each one of us pushing the enemy's side, now it's the Russians versus us, and the Americans are about to get slaughtered in their retreat across the ravine, if you pay attention to the map. Now, here's that indirect fire I was mentioning earlier, trying to hit that target over there on the ridge that I can see now, but at the time I did not realize he was a little bit behind a rock, so I was trying to hit him. After a few shots, I realized that I did not have ammunition to last forever, and the only place you can reload your ammunition as a tank when you run out is your own base, and being that that's right now being captured by the enemy, I do not have that luxury. So I've decided to move up, being that, well, this is desperate times, therefore heroics are called for. And I understand that, well, right around this corner, my team is being absolutely annihilated. If you've been paying attention to the battle chat, I don't know if it's now or in a few minutes, you will see a KV-2, which is a 155mm armed Russian tank, has been blowing up whatever it's been shooting at in the past 30 seconds once every 30 seconds, and is giving our team a good shredding. Now, I keep seeing this little ping right next to our spawn over here, And you don't get unlimited respawns. If you're not doing good, you don't have enough life points, I guess you could say, to respawn. So these guys have just respawned using a little bit of their life points and leftover crew, so I need to come over here and support them. Now, I noticed right off the bat, being all heroic and whatnot, there's a T-34E over here. It's a late war model. It's got a little spaced armor on the sides of the turret, but my M10 has a long barrel 75mm, which means I can penetrate it pretty easily. Now you'll see here, this tank is not dying. I could never figure out how 3 different tanks couldn't kill it. Mind you, 2 of the tanks were not really tanks, but rather self-propelled anti-tank. Oh, or anti-air, my bad. I just received a shot from behind myself. That'd be the second shot. I knew that was going to happen, but I was too afraid to stop shooting this T-34 to move forward at risk of my friend. So I decided to sit there for a minute and take a few shots until I got flanked from behind. Now, if you can't tell, my turret has stopped moving, and that's because the turret ring is busted. And I need to stop and repair it if I want to be able to move my gun again. So that's what I'm doing here. The AA guns are trying to give it their best, but the T-34 just isn't dying for some reason. Now, as you can see, that red name is a AA truck of the Russians, which I did not see until it killed our AA truck here and swung around. Now, I'm repairing my turret ring at the moment, which means I cannot aim my gun at all. I can't move at all. I can't handle that until I finally repaired my turret ring just in time for the other American AA truck to kill the Russian. So now I have 2 options. I can push on the enemy, which has taken our base and essentially made it neutral through contesting, or I could wait here. Now you see that T-34, he's still alive, but at the time I didn't know this. I did not realize he was still kicking around. So I decided to pull up, and then what do you know, the T-34 shows me that the Russian communist Stalin is very strong. So he puts a shot into me, and I am immediately knocked out of mission. My turret ring is knocked out again, and a few vital drive components are knocked out. So I gotta manually wheel this M10 back around, manually put the gun down on target, but the other guy killed him right before I could pull the trigger. Now, as an M10, I've been extremely lucky this game. I usually can't survive this long with an M10 if I buried my head in the sand in the middle of the Sahara Desert. So the fact that I'm alive this long shows that, well, I haven't done much this game, as you can clearly see. So repairing my tank for the last time, I figured that I really need to put myself to good or better use. This second line stuff isn't going to cut it. As you can see, the southern flank doesn't exist, the northern flank doesn't exist, and there's enemies actively sitting right over there past that burning wreck of mess over there, if you can't tell. So as soon as I get my drive components back up, I will take what left of my crew is alive, drive over there, and shoot to kill. Now, I'm really scared that I'm going to round this corner and a KV-2 is going to just one-shot me, because 155mm tends to be a bit deathy for whatever it shoots at. So that's what I'm mostly keeping my eye out for. I know that on the other side of this, going south, I know there's hills over there where T-34s like to camp out, but I don't know this for sure, and I really need to protect my friends who have gone back to our camp zone, or our campsite, I guess you could say, which I don't know why. It wasn't being captured by the enemy at the time they rolled up onto it, so sitting in the middle of the field like they were was kind of pointless. So I roll up and I'm looking for this massive haul. That is the KV-2, which a few other players were complaining about. As you can see, Roger 5100, I think that is, KV-2 just destroyed one of our bigger Shermans. So I'm looking, and you can't miss the KV-2. If I see it, you'll see it. It's a monster. It's like a giant box with a giant pole sticking out of the end. I mean, it's impossible to miss. It is a hideous tank. It does not look slick at all. Anyway, at this point, I'm losing allies by the second. Every tank alive on my team now is all that's left. Anybody who had any life points probably put it into air support and is currently fighting in the sky. Or is about to quit the game because they've died. Now, I can't see anything. all those tanks to my right, you just saw the red names. I can't see them. I see a little movement there, and I want to take a shot, but the turret is just so slow that that tank destroyer, which for some reason actually did disappear in game, which kind of confused me at first. I wanted to give it a shot, but I was getting strafed by the air, which meant this guy knew exactly where I was, and right before I could line up the shot and adjust for drop, the T-34, which came far out of the flank, right next to my spawn zone, shot me right in the flanks, penetrating the crew, breaking the gun breach, and killing my crews, my commander, my aimer, and my loader. And he's parked right there, as I can see. So, with very little on the clock, my team is running out, they're pushing on B, and there's Russians everywhere. So, what do? Well, you can't see it right now, but I've chosen to spawn into a special tank of mine that I hold very dear to my heart. And that's the Sherman 105 howitzer. Well, it's a Sherman tank with a 105mm howitzer attached to it, aka the M4A3. Now, it's a Sherman, just with a howitzer on it. A howitzer artillery. Yes. Can you feel the power? Now, I'm tempted to just crawl on top of this hill and blow everything up. Right now, I've got a special round called Heat, or High Explosive Anti-Tank, which uses a special burn. It doesn't penetrate enemy armor, it burns through it. Therefore, I keep the same armor penetration value over distance. And when I pulled up, I saw that enemy T-34 that had shot me in the flank before. So, being too afraid to actually properly turn around and speed down the hill, because I was afraid something was going to shoot me in the back if I did that, I decided to take the slow route and just back my way down the hill. I understand that once I popped out with my butt hanging out first, I would present a nice soft target for my engine, but at the moment I figured that pointing my face towards the other end of the hill would keep me more protected from any frontal fire. So, that T-34, which my eyes would deceive me, I thought had already pulled off the hill. So I'm just going to creep up by these rocks and see what's taking over my base. Aiming. Oh my goodness, it's a KV-2. Oh my gosh. Red alert. Panic. What are we going to do? Alright, Carlton, gotta think. Think carefully. Aim carefully. Your base is being taken over, but just aim. Blast it, you missed right over the top. Reload, we ain't got much time left. Oh, come on, just take one of them out before they end the game. It's hopeless. They're taking over your base. Take one of them with you. Oh my gosh, we did it. Yes. Hit his cannon breach. Just gotta reload. Come on. I'm spraying a little machine gun fire. I wasn't able to kill him. No. The KV-2 lives to fight another day. No. Oh well. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching this video, and be sure to subscribe to Wolfpack for more, well, friendly adventures. I've taken this one upon myself, but be sure to hear from Bronco, Breach, Captain John, and KO Joe soon. This is Taiga, signing out.